Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Speak On It. It's your boy Biv, and I got Tim One in the building with me on tonight. Uh, Dom is not with us as he and his wife welcomed their newest addition to the family over the weekend.
Ooh,
So,
congratulations.
you know, we with you in spirit, brother. You know, when you're making that bottle at 2:30, we with you in spirit, at least. You know what I mean? We've been there, we've done it. So, and this isn't your first rodeo either, bro. But congratulations to him and Cole. You know, and what a weekend, man! It was a interesting weekend in sports.
Mm.
Uh, we're gonna start in a unfamiliar place. It's not something we talk about a lot, baseball. We don't really talk about MLB, the home run derby. I think it's probably on now.
hmm
The All Star game will be tomorrow night, but there is a couple of hot teams right now that we wanted to talk about. Starting with, we'll start at it's home to us because we from Southern Delaware. Let's start with the Orioles, man. Um, Interesting, I'm in a group on Facebook that's basically a lot of guys from Baltimore,
Okay.
and they love their O's, and it's always 2 3 years away, 2 3 years away, 2 3 years away. It's been like that
hmm
for probably a decade. It feels like, and but the Orioles always have, in my opinion, one of the best farm systems in baseball. They can draft a kid or sign a kid from wherever and
hmm
develop him and turn him into a quality player. And for the Orioles to be in the wild card hunt is something because I don't think anybody was expecting that from them this year. Again, you always hear 2 3 years away. So for them to be in the wild card hunt, and mostly because of their pitching staff,
hmm
is really, really incredible. Their pitching staff has been absolutely phenomenal um, over the past month, actually. Uh, Shout out to you, Dom. Appreciate you too, bro. But the pitching staff has been phenomenal. Starting and the bullpen has been phenomenal over the past month. So as a Delawarean, a Southern Delawarean, it means something to me. Even though I'm not an Orioles fan, I'm not an Orioles
Right,
fan.
right.
I'm a Braves fan. But being around Orioles fans all the time,
The buzz is there.
what I mean? It's good to see them winning. It's good to see them in contention.
hmm
I remember reading a report that one of the owners were thinking about relocating the Orioles.
Wow.
So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Right.
But shout out to the Warriors, man. Keep it up, man. They are playing some really good baseball right now. Them and I think the Mariners
Yeah.
won again last night
That makes
to
13, right?
something like that. Something like that, man. They getting it done. But what's eerie about the Mariners situation
hmm
is despite the big win streak, they're still like way out of it in the division. They're like way out of it in the division. I don't know. Like I haven't really checked to see if how far they are in the wild card, but I do know that it is pretty much. I'm not gonna say it's over in the West, but
hmm
I don't see anybody chasing down the Astros. The Mariners. They're right there. They're gonna be well. Actually, they're in the wild card. They're in
I was
wild
about
card
to say,
contention. They're in
yeah.
wild card contention. That's great. 14 is what the win streak is up to now. 14. Man,
14.
14 is the win streak. That's dope for them because they were building from a year ago. And it seems like the A's in that division always are the team that can contend with the Astros. So
Right.
for the Mariners to come in
It's
and do
surprising.
this is is really impressive as well. Um, Don't know how serious I'll take either one of those teams as far as being a serious contender for
Hmm.
the World Series, you know, but it's baseball and all it takes is
Somebody to get on the.
a couple of hot pitchers and a hot bat,
Yeah.
and you can and you can run it off and you can run it off. So anything can happen, but for me, looking at the American League, I still think it's between the Yankees and the Astros. But that's just me.
No, I would definitely agree with that. Um, it to kind of go back to what you were saying as far as the Orioles is concerned. It's good to see them at 500 at this point of the season. Um, this late in the season because it's building blocks. It's kind of like how the Sixers were as far as trust the process. And I mean, hopefully they're building something because I know that that fan base is a very loyal fan base. Is and they I think they deserve to get in the wild card just for the fan base sake. Um, when it comes to the Mariners, nobody I don't think anybody's seen this coming. But I don't think too many people see them as a threat. I really think that it it pretty much is the Astros and the Yankees, like you said. Um, it seems like the Yankees are on cruise control right now, but sometimes the Yankees could be like the Cowboys at times as well, to where when they get to the playoffs, it's just like oh the hype for what, and then you end up seeing somebody else in the World Series when you got the Yankees winning 143 games and losing 20, and then they get beat in a 7 game series. It's like, but I mean, from what it looks like, it really looks like it's really down to the Yankees and the Astros. Um, and I really think the NL, maybe I'm going ahead of myself, but
Oh, no, you good, you good, you good.
National League, from what I see, it really is a toss up because it's I mean, I know the Dodgers have seemed like the cream of the crop or whatever, but I really think that I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Subway Series again. Um, just my limited knowledge on baseball and looking at it, I think the Mets have a very good quality team, and I think that they can get hot at the right time, and that'll be huge for the city of New York. So,
Yeah, the thing with and Dom just said the Blue Jays and the Astros. It's weird because, as he said, the Blue Jays. I was sitting here thinking the way the Rays pitch
hmm
is just different. No matter who's on the staff, they always have quality pitching. So in the playoffs, that usually takes precedent over bats. So can the Yankees get the pitching that they need in the playoffs to win series? That would be the question. And in the National League, it's hard to pick against the Dodgers, even as a Braves fan.
hmm
You know, it's hard to pick against the Dodgers. And I'm not going to be a homer and just say the Braves, but I also don't want to see the Dodgers. I would like to see the Mets just because it would be something different. Um, I think the Mets are legit. I think the Padres are legit
hmm
as well. So I think that the National League is a little bit more wide open.
yeah,
I think there's probably more teams that can come out of the National League and not surprise you versus the American League, where
yeah.
you'll be shocked if it's
Just
anybody
let
really other
if
than
it's
the
not the Yankees
Astros or
or
the
the
Yankees.
Astros, yeah,
You'd be shocked if it's anybody other than the Yankees
yeah.
or the Astros. But in the National League, I don't think any team will kind of surprise you. So, like, what'd you say, Don?
And see, one thing I do want to
Yeah, if they get Soto, that would be something.
and this is shout out to Dom and the Phillies. I know he's a Phillies fan, and they're over 500 as well. Um, Here in mid July, so that's saying something. Um, they are where in the wild card? They are third. Or they
They're like 4 or 5 back, something like that.
no. They okay. So the wild card is the Braves and the Padres right now, and then it's the Phillies and the Cardinals, then the Giants.
Yeah, they're 3 back in the win column from the Padres, and only one back in the loss column. So
So
they're in the hunt. The
they're
Phillies
still
are the Phillies are in the hunt as well. The National League Central to me is the division that I've been keeping the eye on the most.
the Central.
Yeah, the the Cardinals and the Brewers are just scary teams. You know, that's just that's just how I feel. They're scary teams. They have quality pitching and they
Hmm.
have big bats that can take over a series. And that is scary to me.
So you wouldn't even
Also,
be surprised to see them.
no, no. The Brewers pitching, their bullpen, and then the Cardinals, their ability to just again put together quality at bats. They have guys that could put together quality bats. The Phillies, I just don't know. I feel like they have the lineup. Not sure if they
Hmm.
have the pitching that can carry them
Hmm.
through the playoffs. I think that will be probably their weakest point is their pitching staff. And again,
That's
come
not a weak
October, you're
point.
gonna need some
Yeah,
arms.
yeah.
You're gonna need some arms in October, and I think that's what's gonna hurt the Phils. So, but Dom, I think the Phillies will be right there. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they'll be right there to try and take that last wild card spot. And once you get
Very
in, anything can happen. Once you get in, it's baseball. Anything can happen in baseball. So, but let's move on to something else. A lot of talk about a list of top 10 quarterbacks in the league, and Lamar wasn't on it. There were, I think, Dak Prescott was on it, if memory serves me correctly. Um, Russell Wilson was high on. I think he was like 6. So
So
you know,
let's pull up the list, shall we?
yeah, pull up
So
the list.
we have at 10 Dak Prescott,
Okay.
number 9 Deshaun Watson, number 8 Russell Wilson, number 7 Justin Herbert, number 6 Matthew Stafford, number 5 Joe Burrow, number 4 or no number 5 as my son calls him Joey Burrow. Don't know why, but that's number 4 Tom Brady, number 3 Josh Allen, number 2 Patrick Mahomes, number 1 Aaron Rodgers. Deshaun Watson ain't played a game all last year, and he's on the list. How?
Because he's what the $240 million man.
But he didn't play a snap
I,
all
uh,
last year.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I don't think he should be on the list. Also, I feel like winning should take a factor into something. Um, I don't think he's won much in the time that he has been able to play.
Hmm.
And then,
He's had some winning seasons.
yeah, I know, but not compared to Lamar.
Let's let's do the comparison.
Not compared to Lamar. And then that being on the list, that's just that star on the side of his helmet.
So Deshaun Watson is 28-25. Lamar Jackson is 37-12.
Yeah,
That is extremely glaring.
yeah. And like I said, that's just the star on the helmet. You get preferential treatment when you get that star on helmet. Because I seen a list that was absolutely ridiculous. It had Zeke at like the top back in the league, and I just thought that was hilarious. I don't even know. Is Zeke a top 10 back in the league anymore? I find it kind of hilarious. Oh,
Hmm.
he hopped in.
What up, y'all?
What up, bro?
So what's happening?
What's good?
Oh, man, I'm looking at the Facebook live. You was like he hopped in. I was like, well, wait a minute, I don't see him. But it's a little late. I'm sitting here looking at the stats. What's happening, man? Congratulations, good
What's
brother.
good? Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all.
Hope
So
you and the
so
wife
you
are doing.
jumped in. So you jumped in. So I know you got something on your mind. Then if you jumped in here, what's up?
We
Yeah,
talking
you
about
got.
the top 10 list, and y'all know my boy is off of it. Like, listen, Dak again, Dak 10th. Like Tamon said, Deshaun Watson ain't play a whole season. How he number 8 on the list? He ain't play a whole season. And Lamar, he got an MVP under his belt. Y'all know how I feel about Lamar. I think he's the most explosive player in the NBA in the NFL. It's just because he do it differently. If we
Yeah,
being real, like
absolutely.
when they polled the list and they was like, one, I say this, execs. They had execs who made the list. Lamar is in a contract dispute. That's why he didn't make the list.
Yeah, I thought about that too, but I was like, man, maybe I'm going too deep with that.
Not at
Oh,
The,
all.
the
Not at all.
owners and execs are in cahoots.
yeah,
Absolutely.
They like we're gonna help the Ravens out and say he's not a top 10 quarterback, so that way he don't get paid like top
because
10 money.
listen, the Sean already got his money. Who next up? Lamar.
Lamar.
Lamar won a fully guaranteed contract. Keep him off the list. Now, guess what? When negotiations happen, Lamar, you're not even a top 10 quarterback.
But see, here's the argument. If I could play adversary since his MVP year, he's declined. His performance
Mm,
has declined.
so that's numbers. Because if we being real, we're talking about
Yeah.
numbers. Right? That's
You
just
go from
numbers.
13-2 to 11-4 to 7-5
Well, his team
as
his
far as
team was
Lamar is concerned.
depleted. His team was depleted last
Hmm.
year. He was in MVP race even without his stats. And what was Deshaun Watson's stats even when he threw for 4,000 yards? What was his record? I think it was 4-12. He's still on
Let's
the list.
let's pull him up.
So Deshaun Watson the last 2 seasons is 4-12 and 0-0.
Oh no.
And let's be real, man. Russ ain't been cooking in a while.
What was Russ' record last year?
Russ ain't been cooking in a while, man.
Did Justin Herbert make the playoffs last year?
So yeah, when he threw for four, yeah, he was 4-12 when he threw for 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. So you can't say it was his fault though.
I can't say it was Lamar's fault either. Can I say this?
Yeah, but it was
Can you say this?
16
Let me ask you this one
touchdowns
question,
and
right?
13 picks.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you one question. all those top 10 quarterbacks.
This is a 3.5 to 1 ratio.
All those top 10 quarterbacks that they got, who they number ones? I guarantee if you look at their number ones, their number ones are pretty close to the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL as well. Name me Lamar number one.
Yeah. Lamar's number one is a tight end.
And I'm pretty sure almost all of those top 10s, they got pretty close to top 10 tight ends as well. Lamar don't got those weapons that they got. And somebody made a great point is if you put Lamar on Joe Burrow's team, look a whole lot different, like with the addition of Lamar's ability to run.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that Lamar can't beat you from the pocket. His MVP season, he did have 33 touchdowns or 36 touchdowns. I think like 7 interceptions. Look real similar to your boy stats. We just said Deshaun Watson looked real similar to his stats, except his team won. I think he rushed for 1,000 yards that season as well. Had like 7 rushing touchdowns. He just do it differently, so now he's not a top 10 quarterback. And he in contract negotiations. Because if we're being real, also, if we look at Kyler Murray numbers, who also in contract negotiations, his numbers look good too. I ain't saying he's a top 10 quarterback, but Kyler Murray has been a proven winner, and his team was in the playoffs last year. Again, no knock to Justin Herbert because I think Justin Herbert is great. But Justin Herbert and his team ain't make the playoffs last year.
So
I just want to know what the criteria is.
Who else? Who are you taking off the list?
If I'm taking who off?
No,
if I'm putting somebody on, if I'm putting who on?
If you putting Lamar on, then who you taking off?
Dak easily. And if I'm adding somebody else on there, if I'm adding Kyler Murray to it, or if I'm adding Derek Carr,
no.
If I'm adding Derek Carr or Kyler Murray,
why is Kyler Murray even in the discussion?
Well, one, you don't like him because he's a Cardinal.
No, he's not that good to me.
Is Dak?
He got a lot of hype, yo. I think Dak's better than him, yo. Dak is better than Kyler Murray.
Okay. Okay.
Kyler Murray has the best wide receiver, arguably, in the game. Does he not?
I'm not standing. Just had to tap in. Wifey just looked at me. She's got
bro. If you don't get off and talk from the sideline, bro.
Listen, you said that he got the best wide receiver in football, which I agree. When he's healthy, Kyler Murray is on. He is on. But again, if we're looking at all those top 10 quarterbacks, all of them have almost a top 10 wide receiver. Top 10-ish wide receiver. If you look at all of them have almost a top 10-ish wide receiver. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Aaron Rodgers. He had, all of them have top 10 wide receivers.
You got a point. Now go ahead and log off, man.
Yeah, I'm going to log off so I get in trouble. I'm a watch from the sideline. I'm going to just type my comments.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
All right, Joe.
All right, bro.
You ain't trying to get that man in trouble.
But yeah, I was going to stay out of the conversation because I'm a Ravens fan. So
you didn't want to be biased.
Yeah, people are going to say I'm biased because I'm a Ravens fan.
But no, it's your piece, though.
But the only person that I feel is though I would take off to put Lamar on there is Dak.
But he got good numbers though.
Who, Dak?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a numbers lie. I know people always say numbers don't lie. Numbers do lie. Because a lot of Dak's numbers come from having to throw the ball to get back in the game. Because for a while his defense wasn't that great. And let's be honest, when the Cowboys was having their most success, it was when the passing game was second to the run game.
That's true.
Not taking anything away from Dak. I think Dak is a solid quarterback. I just would put Lamar in the top 10 over. That's it. I think everybody else, if we're talking about potential
Mm-hmm.
along with what they have accomplished already,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can see
Yeah.
where Justin Herbert is a top 10 quarterback. I can see where Joe Burrow is a top 10 quarterback. I also think, I know you guys were talking about Kyler. I also think Derek Carr could
Mm-hmm.
make an argument to
Right.
get in there because of what he has already done
Mm-hmm.
and the projection that he can continue to do that. So I think Derek Carr is really underrated. I think he's really undervalued.
Yeah.
I think that with Devontae Adams now
Mm-hmm.
and with Darren Waller, you're gonna see Derek Carr look like the guy that had the Raiders in the playoffs before he got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think now you're gonna see him get back to that level. So
I would definitely agree. I think that this list was big, like you said. It's a lot of potential. Um, and of course, not to knock Tom Brady whatsoever, but Tom Brady 50, and like, yeah, he won a championship. What was it, the year before?
mhm.
But this past season, he looked pretty human, and without Gronkowski, without AB, um, that team's going to look very different. And he won't have a security blanket. There was a reason why he called Gronk. It's a reason why he called AB, along with having Mike Evans. Um, I think that he's at the age to where the weapons determines his success, and not so much to where with the Patriots it was almost like you could put anybody in those wide receiver positions, not to knock Julian Edelman or Wesley Walker or West. I said Wesley, Wes Walker, or any of those guys. But I mean, there wasn't any solidified number one, and we seen when he had Randy Moss what happened. But that was like in his prime. So Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't argue, but Justin Herbert is still young. I like him. I really do like him and want to see him succeed. Um, Patrick Mahomes, he's already got a chip. You know what I mean? He's got the accolades. So that's. But Matthew Stafford to me that was like a big jump in my opinion because of the Super Bowl win. And it's kind of like, I mean, we've all had this like knock on Stafford to where we know he's going to throw an interception. And granted, the Lions franchise is what it is, but Matt Stafford is in his 12th year, and I would actually probably pick Derek Carr over Matthew Stafford, but they got him Matt Stafford pretty high on the list.
Yeah,
Um,
he just won a Super Bowl, so
yeah, and I get that,
that's a recency
and
bias. That's a recency bias.
yeah, because I mean, I would hope that none of the executives will put Trent Dilfer on the list after he won the Super Bowl, but that's neither here nor there. But
Yeah,
I no, I
Matt,
get what you're saying.
I get what you say. I get what you're saying too with Matt, but I also think Matt for a lot of his time in Detroit was
Hmm.
putting up really good
He
numbers
was.
on a really bad team.
That's a fact.
And I feel like now when we see him with the Rams, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot he is actually kind of good, you
I mean,
know.
he was
And
the number one pick at one point. You know what I
he
mean?
actually is kind of good, but when you're in Detroit losing,
You only
you
see him
know,
on
it's
Thanksgiving.
weird because no matter what Barry Sanders did,
Mm.
he's the GOAT to most people. No
Hmm.
matter what Calvin Johnson, what the Lions did when Calvin Johnson was there,
Mm.
nobody discredits what he is as far as what he was when he was in the league.
Yeah.
But the quarterback, we judge him on a different scale, despite the fact that he's doing the same thing. He's putting up great numbers on
Mhm.
a bad franchise, but the quarterback, we don't want to give him the same respect that we give the skill guys because quarterbacks are judged different.
He's a very good quarterback.
I'm not saying. I was just saying.
I'm not
I'm
saying
just,
that he's not.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, do we not? Is Barry the goat?
Yeah,
All right.
I would
Is
definitely.
Calvin Johnson the top 15, top 20 receiver all time?
Yeah,
Easily, right? No question about it. But we
yeah,
can't say Matt Stafford's a top 10 quarterback because he was losing all the time. And right? Because he was losing all the time. Same franchise.
yeah.
Same franchise. It's just a different standard that we have for quarterbacks. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, think about that, bro. They had those two top generational talents and screwed it up. Like, yo,
I think they
you
got
had
like
Megatron
one
and
playoff win between both of their stints. Hey, I mean, it is what it
I'm,
is.
yo, man, that is it's just
It is what it is, bro.
and they try and they did the same thing with both. Actually, all three. To be like, well, no, they let Matt Stafford go,
Yeah, they
but
let Matt Stafford go.
how they did Barry, yo, they did Barry wrong to the point to where Barry said, "Yo, I'm out of here, bro.
Yeah, he
Like, you're
retired
not
right
going to trade me. I'm
while he was
out of here."
still he might not have been trending upward, but he was at least plateaued. He wasn't trending
Yeah,
downward.
he definitely wasn't trending downward
He wasn't
at
trending
all.
downward. He
That
had
was
at least
definitely
plateaued.
a shock. Like,
But
yo, really, him? He's retiring,
yeah,
but
and that just lets you
he has a
know
line.
what his priority was because he could have
Hmm.
finished out like Emmett and went for
The
Walter's
record,
all-time rushing record. He could have
yeah.
done it, but for him, it was I'm not going to keep throwing my body to the wasteland for a franchise that don't care. So he retired, and I felt like Calvin was in the same boat. Like,
And you know
but
what's crazy, yo?
what's up?
I know. Who was it? Steve Berline that started that game. But the one playoff game that they beat the Cowboys, like after that, the Cowboys went on a run of the Super. So it's like, yo, like you, because it really had the same people. I think it was just a matter of like, I think Aikman had got hurt, and Berline was like winning games, so they kept him in. And then when he wasn't producing, then Aikman came in, but like they was playing in Detroit or whatever. But like they had Eric Kramer at the quarterback and was in the NFC Championship game. This not to knock Eric Kramer at all, but it's just like Barry was that man in Detroit. Let's just say that, man. Barry was that man in Detroit. Y'all should have built, man. Y'all should have. But that's neither here nor there. Lamar, in my opinion, is definitely a top 10 quarterback. Um, I mean, even off of, I know you know what I mean, play advocate, but that was really just for debate. Um, my personal opinion is, I really, I mean, if you're gonna knock him, at least put him at 10. Um, but I don't think that he should be outside of the top 10, regardless of what his contract is or what. I mean, like he's literally had defensive coordinators adjusting to his game ever since he's been in the league, and he's been successful whenever his team has been healthy. So definitely should be top 10. And get that man his money, yo. Stop playing. Stop playing.
And
Yeah.
what's crazy is, and again, I'm not knocking the two youngsters. One was carried his team all the way as far as they could go in Joe Burrow. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? They went as far as they could go. But Justin Herbert hasn't even made a playoffs yet. Not saying that he's not a top 10 quarterback, but to
Hmm.
put him ahead of a an MVP and a guy that's been in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I just it's just weird to me. It's just
yeah,
weird.
yeah.
That's all. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's just weird. And again, I don't know. I don't know what the what the criteria was, but it does make you think that there's hidden motives behind it. You know. You know. So, but anyway, uh, what you think about your boy Ryan Garcia calling out calling out Tank? I thought it was hilarious personally. I think he chasing a bag.
Of course.
Um,
I'm not gonna say of course. I don't know the guy, but I mean, it's fun to call out guys. You know what I mean? Um, well, you know that of course there's contract negotiations that's got to be made, and with boxing there's always politics as well. And you got Garcia who's with Golden Boy, and you got Tank who's with I think he's still with Mayweather Promotions. I don't know, but he's with Al Heyman and PBC and Showtime, and you got two separate networks. Is the fight big enough? Ryan Garcia does have a great social media following, which makes it good, which makes it lucrative in my opinion.
mhm.
Um, you're definitely going to sell some tickets, and the pay-per-view buys just off of Tank alone would be nice. But then you have the casual people that have followed Ryan Garcia just because of his social media presence. Um, it's definitely a big money fight. So as a businessman, it's extremely smart. Um, when we come into fighting and in boxing, that I don't know because I've seen him go down on a couple of occasions to some guys, and we've seen what Tank can do all but two times in the ring. And
And this is where I was at with it. We keep talking about how kind of maybe some people anyway, how Tank is kind of cherry picking his
hmm
opponents. Does this, if he takes this fight, is this more of the same, or is this a step up in competition in your opinion?
is it really a step up in competition? Because like, yeah, why?
The fact that
This
you
is
got
no,
the
no,
fact
no.
that you got to
This
think
is
about it
okay.
that long
So
kind of answers
I'm
the
not.
question.
I'm not going to say like Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia on the same level, right? I'm not going to say, but I would say that Pitbull Cruz would definitely give, in my opinion, Ryan Garcia a run for his money. Um, I just think notoriety wise, it'll be a step up because this may be like the biggest name besides uh, Gamboa. Did he fight Gamboa? He fought Gamboa, didn't he? Or was that Crawford?
I
No, I
don't
think he
know.
fought Gamboa. He said, I don't
I don't know.
know. As far as just like recognition, them both being undefeated, I guess it looks like it. Um, I definitely think that Ryan Garcia, he's got fast hands, but he is flat footed. Um, and I haven't even seen Ryan Garcia fight too many like big names. So like his last fight was supposed to be his toughest fight, and I mean he had the height advantage, the reach advantage. He had a lot of advantages going into the fight. Plus he bulked up to 140. Um, if I was Tank, I'd take the fight, man. I think you're gonna win both ways.
Oh yeah, if I'm take, I'm probably gonna take the fight too, just because at the end of the day, I need it. I got to make my money.
Yeah,
You know, the the title fights, they're not gonna go anywhere unless you go out there and you lose. Um, but I don't see. I don't see him going out and losing in a fashion where he still can't go
Who?
out Tank if he were to lose.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I mean,
if he were to lose, I don't see him losing in a fashion where it's like, whoa, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't even belong in the ring with those guys anymore. So I don't see a situation where he comes out of this as a loser, even if he loses the fight. So
I really don't see him losing this fight.
I don't see him losing the fight either. But it's boxing.
It is boxing.
One punch can be the difference. So, but I don't see him losing this fight, and I think it's probably right now extremely lucrative to take, which has kind of been what he's been more interested in, which is taking the more lucrative approach than the actual boxing approach.
I
So,
mean, if yeah, he said duck and smoke. So from the Optus, Tank has to take the fight. Not necessarily, because I mean, like, so there's been a lot of fighters that's been in this position that have had people call them out, and I mean, Tank just did 350 pay-per-view buys with Rolly Romero. So like he's in this era where like streaming the fight from all types of that's pretty good in this era. So if he could do that with Rolly Romero, and he really doesn't need Ryan Garcia at all. And yeah. But let me see. Before we make the switch over to listen, November is what I'm hearing. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence.
I know there was some more boxing that I wanted to get into. Some more boxing because your boy's coming back. I think either later this month or next month.
Who's that?
Tefimo Lopez.
He is?
Yes, he's making his return. He's going up to 140. He's gonna put his name in that hat, which seems to be a really really loaded division right now. I did watch the Barboza fight this past weekend, which was pretty good. Barboza almost gave it away at the end. He kind of wanted to close the show, and he almost got closed. But with with that being said, 140 is a really, 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 really loaded division right now.
Yeah.
You know, and the last time we seen your boy Lopez wasn't going too well for him. So,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't. I didn't think that the Lomachenko win was a fluke, but I feel like he's still got a lot to prove. And I think going up in weight class, I don't know. I don't know if he has the focus to go up there and 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 have the success that he thinks he can have. I don't know if he has the focus. I know he has the hunger. He has the hunger, but I don't know if he has the focus.
I think he probably is banking and hoping that Josh Taylor drops some of his belts. Because I mean, at 135, like the big dog is Devin Haney. You already seen what he did to Cambosos, which Cambosos beat you. So it's kind of like, all right, do I stay in this division or not? I feel like him and like Danny Garcia are in the same spot. It's kind of like this division 135 is loaded enough to where I maybe can move to 140 and slip up and win another championship or something like that. I feel like the same goes for Danny Garcia as well. so they might have the same strategy. Like where I'm at right now is too loaded, and like he may really think in his head, like I don't know if I could beat Devin Haney, to be quite honest.
Eh,
And I already lost to
140 loaded too,
Cambosis.
though.
Yeah, yeah, but he may see some maneuvering to where he could fight somebody different or a different style to pick up one of. I don't know. I just it's I really think that he's a great boxer.
I think he can fight too, man. I
And
think
I
he can
think
fight.
that
I think he talked too much.
yeah, but he's only got 17 fights at the end of the day, so he still got some growing to do, in my opinion.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and I think that I mean Lomo is like 30 something, so like granted his record may seem like he only got a little bit of professional fights, but he's long in the tooth, as they would say.
Hmm.
So I really think that his days are numbered as far as an elite fighter. But that whole division, man, like from 130 to 140, it's a lot that can happen, and it's a lot of moving pieces that people are gonna have to figure out how they're gonna get their name out there or what. And I mean, like we see that Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Frank Martin, um, these guys are coming after the spot, and they all undefeated. And a lot of these guys don't want to fight them. That's to be perfectly honest.
Because I'm not even sure who he fights. I just was like I said, I was watching um Top Rank on ESPN on
Hmm.
Friday night, and they were talking about he's going to be making his return. I think it's like I said, I think it's either later this month or next month. Actually, August 13th. Just found it.
Okay.
August 13th is when he makes his um return against Pedro Campa.
Yeah, I've never heard of him. No
Don't know who
disrespect
that is.
to him.
Don't know who that is. But I guess it's a tune-up fight, so he can get himself acclimated at 140, and then try to jump up. Because like I said, that division is absolutely loaded, and I don't know where he fits. I don't know where he fits. I feel like the best thing for him to have done was probably go try to get that nasty taste out of his mouth.
The Cambosis.
Absolutely. Get that nasty taste out your mouth. It's not like Cambosos is some chump or something like that. Like he was just a
Hmm.
champ. He just took a L to a better dude. So go and try to get that nasty taste out your mouth before you jump up, because now it almost looks like you're running from that work at 135. And I don't know if I would run from the work at 135 to go run to the work at 140. That's just me. That's just me. I don't know if I make. I don't know that it was weird. It was weird when I heard that. I was like, man, like you was really just starting to make a name for yourself at 135, and you took a L, and now you jumping up. You
Hmm.
know, for me, and I'm not saying that he's in the same place, but I'm hoping that this isn't an Adrian Broner type situation.
Nah, it's definitely not that. By the way, he's about to come back too.
Yeah,
So
Adrian Broner's fighting soon too. Yeah, 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 yeah. You got to make that money. So, but seriously
I
though,
really hope he wins that one, man. Like
I,
not.
he
I don't want him to be a journeyman. He said
it's
Devin
too it's
Haney or
too
Tank.
it's too late. It's too late, bro. He already a journeyman.
Oh man, you gotta come back, Broner, man. You had it,
And
bro.
it's a wrap. It's a wrap for him, man. Adrian Broner was good all the way up until he took Mandana lightly,
Yeah, yeah,
and then after that it was downhill. After that,
it really was.
then he let an old Pacquiao just embarrass him. Right.
And the thing with Broner, man, I know it's easier said than done, but each and every fight, I hear the same thing, and I be agreeing with people. Just let your hands go. If he had let his hands go,
Against
I felt
Pacquiao, he
like
would have won. I felt like he
in
would have.
just about any of his fights, and I think he said it, if I'm not mistaken himself, like since that Maidana fight, like he's been gunshot to where
Yeah,
like he don't want to
he
pull the
don't want to
trigger,
get punched in the face.
so he's more defensive.
Yeah, but
But then allegedly, not allegedly, my man tried to Maidana when he fought Floyd. He tried to use them same gloves that he fought Broner with, and he was like, "Yo, man, you can feel your knuckles through this." So that might have been the case. That might have been the case, and that I mean, you go from boxing to the UFC, it'll change it. It might change the perspective on boxing too.
yeah.
Just
And he
not
fights Omar Figueroa on
yeah.
August 20th. Adrian
Omar
Broner does.
Figueroa he's a journeyman too.
Journeyman too. Both of them looking to probably try to get one more title shot
Yeah,
at this point. You know, try to make that one last run for a title shot because Broner is what 32.
I
He's
want to see
32.
Broner get another one, man. I do because he was entertaining, yo. I mean, I know he was borderline annoying to some, um, but he was definitely entertaining, and he was. I'm not gonna say he was on the level of Floyd, but he annoyed a lot of people on the level of Floyd
Oh,
to
absolutely.
where the brashness and whatnot. And I seen that to where like, yo, he could really be like a crossover star. I just think that that fame got to him a little too much, as well as the Maidana fight.
Yeah, I think he tried to play the villain too much.
Yeah,
I don't I think he has an a-hole personality to begin with, and then he just added more on top of it to sell fights, and then
hmm
he let that personality kind of take over his career where he was just the bad guy. And I think that carried over into his lifestyle. And when that carried over into his lifestyle, the boxing was affected, and he's not been the same since. Like,
and see, I think it's reverse. I mean, thinking his his childhood was, I guess, what you would call troubled, and he was locked up before and whatnot. He said that's where he started fighting was in jail. So I think that he was humble at first, and then the fame got to him, and then like a little bit of like he was like, oh, I could be myself and a little bit more. And I think that a couple of these things humbled him to the point to where it's like, all right, let me get back to the grind that got me here in the first place. Because once he started getting on TV and using the brush with the hair,
yeah.
and then it was on the peak of social media, so it just popped at the right time. But for him, it may have been the wrong time. So, but like I said, I'm cheering for him, man. I definitely want him to be a world champion again, just so all the haters he could say, "I told you so." I like comeback stories.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long road, and it starts on the 20th of August.
But he
Um,
might he might end up fighting one of them boys though.
yeah,
He might have to see one of them Haney Tank. I don't know if he wants to see Tank, but
but I mean,
Haney,
where is he?
yeah.
Hold on.
Or is he ranked?
No, where is he? Like, what is? Because he not fighting that low down, is he? Because he was
I
up
think
to
he's at.
one.
I think he's trying 140 again, or he might be
Okay,
at 147. I don't know.
okay. I can't remember. I don't
He
know.
he be fluctuating.
I know he was better and more dominant at 140.
Yeah, definitely.
No question about that. I do believe that the power didn't travel with him to
Mm-hmm.
147. You know, at 140, man, he was.
Yeah, he did put Sean Porter on his butt. As my man said,
Yeah,
coming to America, he did beat Joe Lewis's.
but he still lost to Sean
That's
Porter.
a fact. That's a fact. That is a
He
fact. And it
still
came very late.
he loved, but I don't know if he want 140.
Yeah.
I don't know. He definitely don't want 147.
Nah. If there was like a 143,
like I don't know where he fits anymore because that 140 work is different right now,
he gonna have to. He gonna have to.
and we already know what 147 look like.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a
So
lot.
if he wants to get back to being a championship contender at least,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna have to really go back into the lab because again he's 32.
Mm-hmm.
So time is dwindling.
Mm-hmm. That's a
Oh,
fact.
and speaking of your boy fights on the 30th. You brought him up, Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm intrigued to see him at 154.
versus Jose
Benavidez.
Benavidez Jr. What you
I mean,
think?
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I don't. I've never seen it at 154. The last fight that I seen him at was against Spence, and he said he better go to 135.
Lomo
um.
beat him up too.
So,
What?
uh,
Oh, I thought I
I
was
mean,
muted.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Um. Yeah. This one I'm intrigued to see. I don't have any opinion on it whatsoever because the last couple times I've seen Danny Garcia fight, it wasn't too good. So, um, granted, the last one, like I said, was against arguably top five, top three, pound for pound. But I mean, like now we going upper class, and 154 ain't no slouches at 154. And you want to face the Charlo, so that means you got to go through some people to get there, and then ultimately Spence is going to be moving up at 154, and you already seen that work. So it's like you in between. Are you in between a rock and a hard place, or what?
I
It's a lot of talent that people. It's a lot of smoke people running from, in my opinion, man.
Now you know me. I've never been a Danny
Yeah,
Garcia
yeah,
fan.
I know.
You already know that. Never been a Danny Garcia fan. I still think that he's that one punch wonder from uh your boy
Eric Morales.
American.
Oh, okay, that one
That
too.
the American one put American was beating the living daylights out of him,
Hmm.
but we all know American got a glass jaw. So all it took was that one. But Amir Khan was putting hands all over Danny Garcia
Yeah,
before the one punch.
yeah.
And I was like, if that's what you need to win, man, that's asking a lot, bro. Especially in the division that he was in at
Hmm.
that time. But for me, it's what he's done lately. And what he's done lately is when he's fought a good fighter, he's lost.
Hmm. Yeah.
Whether we can start with Keith Thurman, we can talk about Sean Porter, we can talk about Earl Spence, and in between those, he beat Brandon Rios, Adrian Granados,
Yeah.
and Ivan Ridcock, whom I've never heard of. Um,
Yeah.
so again, what have you done for me lately? Maybe stepping up and weight because he has heavy hands.
Hmm.
He does hit hard. I'll give him that. Maybe that's what he needs. I know he don't. I know he maxed out at 147.
Yeah.
There was nowhere else for him to go at 147, especially if those guys aren't going anywhere. That's down there already.
Yeah.
But eventually, like always, they're gonna come up.
Right.
So you're
And see,
gonna see them
that's what I was
eventually
like.
again. Anyway, bro, like you might as well just wait out 147 and hope that you can get one of these youngins that want to jump up to 147 that's not ready yet, and you can make a name for yourself.
That'd be the best bet.
That'd be the best bet because I don't think
The
going up to
youngest
one.
at 147, he don't.
Nah, he doesn't want that work either. I just don't think. Again, I just don't know. I get what his plan is by moving up. Is it just to get bigger fights with bigger draws that you could potentially win?
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's
I
it,
don't
right?
think we got. I
That's
don't
the
think
only
we got
thing.
no.
I don't know if
He
you.
said
I
he
don't
said he
even
could
know.
beat Charlo.
He said what now?
He could beat Charlo,
Which one?
the one at 154.
And they'll be
So
Charlo will beat the living daylights out of him, bro. Honestly, both of them would, but I just wanted to make sure that he was talking about that one. so I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
But see, in this era, I mean, 2 fights in a year is so. I mean, he's gonna have Benavidez, and then if you get another, if you win this one,
he's gonna have to dominate to get another fight in this calendar year.
oh yeah, not this count.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say he's gonna have to dominate. Like
it'll be early next year, but it'll be like a year, a fiscal year.
Fiscal year. Okay.
So yeah, he'll have 2 fights in 365 days.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Danny, man. Shout out to Philly. Shout out the whole Garcia family. His father is entertaining.
Now let me ask you this question.
Wish him nothing but the best.
Let me ask you this question. We're gonna stay on boxing for a little bit. Is there a bigger fight out there than Bud and Earl?
No.
You don't think there's a bigger
talent wise?
No, not talent wise. I'm talking about draw. Is there a bigger draw? I don't think there's two. I think that's probably number 1 and number 2, or number 2 and number 3, pound for pound. So I don't think talent wise you're going to get anything better. But is there a bigger draw? Is there 2 other names that you can throw together in boxing right now?
Tank and Canelo? I mean, like,
Don said Tank and Devin.
No, Devin hasn't sold too much, so that's not a big talent wise, yeah, but like big draw wise, like, and that's one of the reasons why negotiating when you're talking about Tank and Devin, it's not going to work, because it's like Tank can really request the lion's share of the funds because he's got the numbers to back it up, whereas Devin doesn't. Yeah, he got the belts, but when we talking to Floyd and his people, we talking about money. Canelo and Charlo, talent-wise, yeah, but still, draw-wise, Charlo hasn't. I don't think he's headlined a pay-per-view yet. So, like, I hate to say it, but the next biggest fight will probably be Wilder and Joshua. Still.
You said Wilder and Joshua?
Yeah, still. They still haven't fought. Tyson Fury said he might retire, or he's about to retire. He's about to come back. We've been wanting to see that. If Joshua can beat Povetkin and get his belts back, then we can see the fight that we wanted to see 3 years ago. And we still know that Joshua's chin is a little iffy. And we hope that Deontay Wilder can improve on his skills, but he's still got that one-hitter quitter.
Now,
so
Joshua Joshua fights next month
Yeah, I think so.
to try to get his belts back.
Right.
I don't know. I was watching. Like I said, I watched boxing pretty much all weekend,
Hmm.
and I was just sitting there thinking. I was like, is there a bigger draw right now than those two names?
Hmm.
And I don't know if there is, because as much as we like, I know Don was like Canelo, Charlo. I think Canelo beat Charlo up.
I wouldn't go that far.
When Canelo is on his game, I think Canelo, and he if he cared, I think he beats Charlo up. And yeah, he beats Charlo up. I was getting ready to be nice, but I'm not. He beats Charlo up when Canelo was on his game. He beats Charlo up.
I wouldn't say Charlo. I mean, I wouldn't say Canelo would win. But I really think that would be a very competitive fight, more
I don't.
competitive than what people would think. I would say.
I don't. You're a Charlo guy. I'm not. I've never been. I've never been impressed with
I
either one.
I know. I
Never
know.
been impressed with
I
either.
know.
But like I
But
said,
David Benavidez beats the brakes off of Canelo. Sorry, but that's neither. And see, that's not even a big fight though. That's not
I
a
was gonna
big
say, but
draw.
I
So that's
don't
why
think
it's not.
that's not a big draw. I don't think that's gonna be a big draw.
And see, that's why, in my opinion, Canelo takes the Gennady fight because Gennady is still a popular name. And whether people think so or not, he still was fighting at 160 and was still a world champion. And so, like, it still has relevance to where, if we're talking about money wise, risk reward and all of that, I definitely understand why Canelo is fighting Golovkin for eighth time. Notoriety, all that. It's the biggest. Like, I think Dimitri was more so of a test, but now it's like, all right, if we're talking about check wise, let's go there. But I mean, unless you're gonna have Canelo drop down to 147 to fight Tank, that to me is the two top names in boxing when we're talking about draws is concerned. And then number three would be Errol. But
I'm
that
with
might
you.
just be biased because he sells out Texas Stadium and he's from Texas. So I don't know, man. Yeah, crossover guys in boxing right now. Of course, heavyweights is always big. And Deontay Wilder is still a recognizable name. And Anthony Joshua is a former Olympic champion, so he got a whole country with him. That's UK versus. I mean, you've seen how big the Tyson Fury Wilder fights were, all three of them, and everybody can say that Wilder lost all three fights, but all three of them were draws. And what I mean, not draws in the competition
Yeah,
sense, but
yeah.
people paid
Numbers.
for it.
Yeah,
So
people watched it.
people would definitely pay for um, a Wilder versus Joshua fight. Still,
Heavyweights, heavyweights. As long as they have the name, people are going to tune in
yeah.
because they're usually exciting. They're usually a little bit more of a war. It's not the technical things that you're going to get with a Floyd Mayweather.
Hmm.
It's going to be a little bit more violent. So yeah. But Dom had a question for you.
For me, if Dimitri dropped, does he beat Canelo? Yeah, I think it's the same result 99 out of 100 times.
Really?
Yeah. I
No. Okay.
it's
What
the we
drop?
so
Like,
there's a
what's the catch rate going to be?
168 or
168.
170. I mean, it's we say styles make fights, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dimitri's style and Canelo's style does not mesh well. Uh, he's longer, he's bigger, we can say that about Gennady, but Gennady's 50. So, like, I really think it's the same result. Like, people be sleeping on Dimitri just because Dimitri, all right, man.
I
Like
like Dimitri. I like Dimitri.
that light heavyweight division hasn't really been notarized since Andre Ward was
I
there
was
with
gonna
with
say.
with Kovalov and whatnot, and then when Canelo went up and beat Kovalev, did he beat Kovalev? Did he? I think he did.
I
I
think he
want
beat
to say he did.
Kovalov.
So like
Somebody did.
there hasn't been too much spotlight on that division, so people really don't know Arthur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bovov, but Dmitry nice. Dmitry he's him and like at 168. It's a lot of very good fighters that can give Canelo a run from his money from 160 to 178 that he hasn't fought yet.
That he
So
doesn't.
I
That he doesn't appear to want to fight. Honestly,
and I know that's your guy, Dom. And I like Canelo too, man. But they talk about cherry picking. He's a very strategic picker when it comes to boxing because he knows how to pick the name for the sales that looks good. But yeah.
yeah. All right. Let's transition
Oh, I
to.
got I got one more for you, Dom. Don't come on, but I got one more for you. I think Floyd Mayweather still beats Canelo right now.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Let's. Oh, I know he's got. Oh, he didn't even. He hasn't responded yet. He hasn't responded yet. It's- All right, let's move to the NBA, man. Where um, it don't look like Kyrie and KD are gonna get moved. It just don't. It just don't look like they're gonna get moved. But it's an interesting thing. Colin Sexton still unsigned. That's weird, right?
Yeah.
Or am I tripping?
No, I really think that is it's a I ain't gonna say a few weirds, but that one is more like hmm, cause he's young. He hooped. He definitely hooped before like he got hurt.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I'm like, man, is people afraid of was the injury a little bit more serious than what we thought? Or
Got to be. I know about that torn meniscus.
you know what I mean?
He ain't
Even
been right since.
even even Cleveland
Don't want to resign him, right?
doesn't even seem like they are interested in re-signing him, man. And that's kind of weird considering that, they had the success, like Dom said, they had the success without him.
Hmm.
But you would think, man, how how much further could we go if he's right? But them staying away from him, I think is kind of keeping everybody else away from him because like he was in the house.
Yeah.
So but that was weird to me because I was like, man, like I ain't saying he got to go and get a max, but man, somebody offering him something.
Something,
You
right?
know what I mean? Offering him something. But back to KD and Kyrie, do they get moved? Are they gonna get moved?
I think this was to play with our emotions, bro. I really think this was to bring some notoriety onto the NBA, some headlines. The more I thought about it, I was like, man, I don't like what the Nets are asking for, bro, or like what they say that they're asking for. You know, daggone well, you're not gonna get that, man. So like yo, when I seen the Warriors propose trade, they had pretty much the whole bench and some picks and Wiggins. I'm like, yo, there's no way in the world that the Warriors front office is going to say yes to that with the Lakers.
We'll talk about the
Like,
asking price of somebody else too in a minute, but go ahead.
I mean, even with the Lakers, like, you're not going to straight up trade LeBron for KD. I mean, granted, LeBron is a goat, but he still will be 38 this year, and KD is what 32. So you still
30,
got some.
34, I believe.
Oh, 34. Okay. Well, you still got some years. I don't see that happening. It's just you talking about two marquee players, so of course you're going to want to ask for a lot, but then the stuff that you're asking for, I don't think teams is going to say yes. So would you trade Zion for KD?
In a heartbeat.
Straight up?
Absolutely. Quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For that team, heck yeah, yeah, because that
I'd
put that,
sign,
that
I'd
that puts
trade
you on the
Zion.
cusp.
I'd trade Zion right now for KD.
That that puts you on the cusp right now.
I'm
Like with
saying?
that team already assembled.
Especially considering that you really don't know what you're gonna get out of Zion.
Yeah.
You really don't. Let's be real. Like we can keep talking about what he did when he was right. Yeah, but is he gonna be right again? The
I'm gonna
weight
go
is
back
gonna
to
the weight is gonna be an issue. He's a big guy.
I'm gonna go back to what I said when this dude first entered into the league. Who he reminded me of? He reminded me of Sean Kemp.
Who
And I,
Zion?
yes, and I still stand by that. And that's not a knock to him whatsoever. People act like Sean Kemp wasn't the
I
top player
tell
in
you
the
who it
league.
reminds me of. He reminds me of a dude that's right in the league with him right now.
Who's that?
Julius Randle.
Oh wow, I wouldn't do that. Not
What are
not
you
knocking
talking
him,
about?
but I can see that though. I
Like
can see
people,
that.
is he a better version of Julius Randle? Yes, but his game is exactly the same. His game is exactly the same. I'm gonna run you over and try to get to the rim. Can I step out and hit the jumper? Yeah, I can step out and hit the jumper, but majority of the time I want to go downhill and just get to the rim. My ball handling skills, they're not that great,
Hmm.
but they're good enough to get me to the rim. And I'm gonna put my head down and get to the rim. That's who Julius Randle is. They're both left. It's just weird. Bodies are kind of similar. Like I know he's Julius Randle is nowhere near the talent that
Right, but
Zion is,
yeah, but it's I get what you're
but
saying.
games and body types very similar, very similar. But again, if right now you got a crystal ball and you say Zion's gonna stay healthy for the next decade, no, I'm not trading him for Kevin Durant. But as he is right now, well, feel like it's a coin flip whether or not he gonna be available for us.
Just
Yeah,
go ahead,
yeah,
moving.
especially with the guys that I have already there. When
Yeah,
you talk about CJ, you talk about Bi. Yeah, yeah, I'd make that trade. It might not. It's probably not going to work out, but
so let me ask you this: do you think that the movie Hustle hurt Honcho, hurt Hernan Gomez?
I haven't watched Hustle, so I don't
Okay,
know what
okay.
happened. What happened on there?
Nah, it was just he was the main character,
Oh,
and what was it? Adam Sandler played this guy who was a scout trying to be a coach. He ended up finding Honcho overseas on the street, something like that, whatever, whatever. But I mean, it got him some notoriety to where like he's been on late night TV shows and whatnot, and now all of a sudden he's still an unrestricted free agent. I'm like, why nobody wants to sign my man now? Like he been in the league for about a few years now. Now as soon as he get a movie, he don't want
hold
nobody wants
on.
to.
Is that did he? That's the one he's played for the Knicks.
He's probably played for a few teams. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play for the Knicks. He was just on the Jazz.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if the movie hurt him or not. I just think
He's decent.
I just and I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but there's so many guys that have similar skill sets.
Yeah. I get what
You
you're
know,
saying. That's
right
why I say
now
like,
finding a 6'10", 6'11" lanky shooter, you can find one. Just being real. I just don't. I just think that because so many guys have similar skill sets, you're probably not as valued anymore
mm-hmm.
unless you're a superstar. Because I can go out and find a cheaper version of you.
And you know what, yo, looking at some of these names, bro, you would have. I mean, of course, I mean, age goes with it, but like you see, LaMarcus Aldridge still unrestricted. Boogie Cousins, like you wouldn't have said that 3-4 years ago. Blake Griffin, Eric Bledsoe is decent in my opinion. Dennis Schroeder, he just had nice
He bl-
contract.
he only only person he can blame is himself. Should have took that Lakers deal.
So like, and no, I'm not gonna mention Carmelo. Just because y'all think I might mention Carmelo. But
But Carmelo fit right in that boat, man. He an old head, just like those other dudes that you name. Only
no,
difference
I
is
definitely get Carmelo. Not to knock my man whatsoever, but I mean like you was on the bench on the Lakers and you are 38 years old and this league is very young. So
uh, again, I can find a better version of you now.
yeah,
That's younger and cheaper.
yeah. Nah, you ain't gonna find prime Melo out here.
He
But
ain't prime.
you can find
You
38
can find
Melo out
30. You can find a 38
here.
Carmelo Anthony. But yeah, you're not finding. If he was in his prime, he's signed already.
Yeah, of course. Ah, he should have went to Chicago.
Nah,
God, if he went to
should have been.
Chicago, I
He
think
shouldn't
he
have
would.
signed that. He shouldn't have signed that deal, and he should have took his behind to Miami.
That too. Listen, it's a
Yes,
couple places he like
that's that. It's just that
to
simple.
avoid that ring talk.
But
Go to veteran minimum and go to Golden State because they might go back to back.
nah, man, they require you to play defense and go to state, man. At least give effort. Melo ain't. Melo ain't.
He
Melo ain't.
rebounds.
He don't know what that. He don't know
He
what that is.
rebounds. He
He don't know
rebounds.
what that is.
He
Um,
clears out everybody. He says, "Give me that. Get out of the way. It's my ball." Let me stop.
but we were talking about asking prices.
hmm
What is the Jazz front office smoking that they thought they were going to get 6 first-round picks in addition to the players that they were asking for from the Knicks?
Nothing. They're not smoke. They're not smoking out nothing. Do you see what they got for Rudy? So they said if we can get that for a dude,
Okay.
as we've had this argument about Rudy and his talents, if we can get that for him, imagine what we can get for him.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking that they have to be thinking. And they went to the franchise that makes some of the dumbest decisions ever. So they said we can get one over on them.
I understand that. But again, Minnesota is like, yeah, but you gave us Rudy Gobert to go with a team that already was just in the playoffs, so we're going to ascend.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks, on the other hand, is like, man, even if you give us Donovan, that ain't a guarantee that we gonna be good. We're not giving you we're not giving you 6 years of capital that we might potentially need ourselves to build around Donovan. Nah, bro. The Jazz was
They said shoot your shot.
high as a direct, like, bruh.
Shoot your shot.
I understand shoot your shot, but if they had asked for 3, they might have got that deal. That might go through 3.
They was hoping for a
Maybe
counter offer.
maybe even 4. But 6, bro.
They just shot. It's counter offer.
Whew.
Where's the
I don't
counter
even know if there was a counter offer. I think the Knicks hung up the phone and said,
Yeah,
"Nah,
they
man,
might-
they drunk. They
They
drunk.
said, "No, this ain't it. This
They
ain't it."
wild. They wilding out for real."
But if so, from your understanding, the Jazz made that call.
Yeah, that was the Jazz's offer. Because if the Knicks made
the
that
Jazz
offer, the
are
Jazz
thinking-
take that. The
so
Jazz
the-
take that.
So the Jazz are thinking about rebuilding. They're not
They
rebuilding.
have to be. They have to be thinking about rebuilding. You trade your centerpiece at center, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're shopping your all-star guard.
Yeah.
You know, because you're not building around Mike Conley and Bogdanovich.
Well, both of you guys said it. Was it last season or the season before that group is going to have to get broken up?
Yeah,
Because it seems like it just
you maxed
stopped
out.
in the second round.
Yeah, you maxed out. You hit your ceiling. I think the Nuggets is
Is next.
the Nuggets is in that cycle as well. Like we gotta stop beating that head up against this same wall. You know, yeah, you
But
win.
see, with the Nuggets excuse, they're going to say Murray was hurt.
Okay, that seems to always be the case. Again, stop beating your head against that same wall, right? Same thing with Michael Porter.
Yeah.
He's always hurt. Stop beating your head against that same wall. You
Knock
bring
it
in
out.
KCP. I don't know that. I don't know how much that helps.
When Michael Porter is healthy, bro. Oh my
Bro.
gosh, man. I was like,
And
yo,
then
they got to steal
those
when they
20
picked him, yo.
those 25 games he do be lit. But what about the rest of the year?
He knows, man.
You know what I mean? Again, you don't keep beating your head up against that same wall. It's just stupid. You're gonna get brain
And they
damage.
have a very talented team when healthy. Like,
Oh yeah.
an extremely talented team.
As far as roster construction, they have a top 5 roster.
Yeah. And that's why on
When you
paper,
when you look at the names,
yeah, when looking at the beginning of the season, you looking at the rosters, you're like, okay, the Nuggets could be in the Western Conference Finals. Wouldn't be surprised they're in the NBA Finals.
not at
But
all.
they end up being 4th in the West and get bounced out in the second round, or bounced out in the second round.
They're
Except for the bubble. The bubble, they went to the Western Conference Finals, but then the bubble is
the bubble.
foggy territory.
The bubble is a
touchy subject.
It's a very touchy subject. It's a very touchy subject, man, because we've seen the best of some people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
where is TJ Warren?
He just signed with the Nets.
Okay. But where was he at last season?
I don't know. He was hurt, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what team he was on. But I do believe he was hurt. But then Donovan Mitchell's gonna get moved. The only question is, where could he get moved?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know the Knicks wanting. I hope he doesn't go to the Knicks. I hope he doesn't go to the Knicks. Now, granted, I still think they will have. I think the Knicks will have a decent roster if you don't have to give up Julius Randle or RJ Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Emmanuel Quickly and Opie Toppin. I wouldn't shy away giving them up for Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know me, I am not a Tom Thibodeau fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure what Jalen Brunson is. You know what I mean? I'm not sure what he is. I think he'll be. I think he'll fit in great if you get Donovan Mitchell because you'll have another great guard beside him, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
how he was with Luca.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll be fine. But as currently constructed, I don't. I think Jalen Brunson's going to be asked to do
A
more than he
lot.
was asked to do
Definitely.
in Dallas, as the Knicks are currently constructed. So I don't know where Donovan. I haven't heard really any other teams' names popping up other
Yeah.
than the Knicks.
Yeah.
So if he gets moved to the Knicks, how much better can the Knicks be with Donovan? Can they can they get to the playoffs
Yeah. I feel like they can get to the playoffs.
with
But
RJ,
I think that's where it stops,
Julius,
though.
Donovan, Jalen Brunson? They can make the playoffs in the
Yeah.
East. Okay.
hmm I think that's where, like I said, I think that's where it stops, though.
Oh, absolutely. They ain't going no further than
But I
seventh,
definitely think
seventh, eighth
that
seed.
team, yep, I definitely think play in, get a little buzz in New York. Definitely can see that. But, excuse me, you're going to need a lot more if you want to contend.
Absolutely. And like I said, I haven't heard any other teams even talking to the Jazz about Donovan Mitchell right now. Anyway,
But I
I
don't
heard
even see
that.
where he would fit in too many places. Like, I know he's a great player, but teams currently constructed, like, I don't know where he fits.
How
Mm,
many championship caliber teams are in need of a two guard?
depends on what you think. Who's championship caliber? The top four teams in each conference. So the Warriors, no. The Suns, no. The who else? Who you got third in the West?
You want to say Denver?
Denver. You waiting on your two guards, so no.
Well, no, they ain't waiting on a two guard.
No, I'm saying like
They
he's
just signed him.
who?
KCP is gonna be their starting two guard.
Oh, Murray's gonna be their starting one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's a possibility. But you just signed him, so
But
that's
you're
not.
gonna have to give up something
Yeah,
to get him.
and they
Who do
got a
you
lot.
give up?
They got a lot on their bench.
You just got rid of Will Barton.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
got rid of
That's what I'm doing.
got rid of Morris. So what you gonna give up? Bones and Aaron Gordon and
But
some
in
and some
that
and
that
some
that
picks. That's
that
not enough
that's not that actually, in my opinion, brings you down a notch.
because they're gonna have to give up. It's a trade. They're gonna have to give up something to get him.
I don't know, man.
Like I think the Jazz. I think the Jazz again. This is what happens when you wait 2, 3 years
hmm
too long to make moves. Because now you're in a position where you're getting later and later into the offseason and you still trying to move your franchise guy after you to move the other guy.
Now, in their defense, though, couple years, what Bogdanovich, he's only been there for like 2 years, right? 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they made they was in the Western Conference Finals one year, in like the past 4 years. Am I tripping? Or maybe the semifinals. They made a run. I don't know. One of those runs though. After that, they had signed Bogdanovich, and they felt like he was like one of the pieces that they need because they needed some scoring at that three. Because Joe Ingles, he's all right, but he's not all that. And I really think that they were actually trying to make a run, but it was just like the picks were like the pickups weren't eye popping to where it was really going to push them over the edge. It was almost like they were inching and trying
Yeah,
to do it. Like even when they got Mike Conley, like to me that was
Mike
a good move.
nothing doesn't move the needle.
But right. It was
Mike
not. It was like,
Conley, Jordan Clarkson, like
mhm,
those aren't moves that move the needle. But again, you're talking about Utah.
right.
I don't think too many people are signing up to go to Utah and free agency, which means you have to build through the draft or through trades,
Yeah.
which is why you do not wait until you absolutely have to move guys to move guys.
So they waited 2 years too late
I
for
believe
fighter.
after I think they maxed out in the bubble.
Hmm.
They maxed out. The bubble was it. They weren't going to get too much better than that. You want to go another year after that? Fine. What's that last year?
That was it.
That was it. And now you put yourself in a position because you move Rudy first,
Hmm.
and now you absolutely have to move Donovan. Where you could have moved Donovan and you didn't have to move Rudy.
And they just gave Rudy all that money. I didn't understand that.
And another thing with that, you trade Rudy and DeAndre Ayton is a free agent. I'm just saying.
They rebuilding. They
I'm just
rebuilding.
saying you didn't even have to rebuild with him because
Right.
he's an offensive guy that you can just put in and he can play with Donovan. Now you're going to take a step back defensively, but who cares? Who cares? Like you're going to be now you're even better offensively, and now the Bogdanoviches, the Joe Ingles, the Jordan Clarksons, because you got a guy in there that's going to demand a double team in the post. Now they can get better shots. But you decided to move Rudy, not make any moves, not even attempt to go and get nobody in free agency. And
They they
now
they tanking so they could try to get that other French man. I don't know his name, but he's like
I know you talk about. I know you
7'3" with a jumper, and he's like 12 now or something like that. Nah, he ain't 12, but he's a young guy.
but
That's
that's why they was
young,
trying to get those six. That's why they was trying to get those six picks from the Knicks,
so they could trade up.
so they can. They got you got six first round draft picks from the Knicks, who have not shown that they are about winning. Yeah, you're probably going to be in the lottery for
And
6 years.
yeah.
So yeah, you got capital to move.
Hmm.
Danny Ainge was like Danny Ainge over there doing the same thing he did in Boston, man.
Hmm.
He over there doing the same thing he did in Boston, collecting draft picks. Sam Presti did the same thing in Oklahoma City, and they are looking like, but he drafts well.
Yeah.
He drafts really well. He does his homework.
Danny Ainge does too, in a
I'm
sense.
not saying Danny. I'm not saying Danny Ainge doesn't draft well, but Danny Ainge trades well.
Yeah.
He
He
makes
maneuvers very well.
he moves those draft picks
Hmm.
for players, and he moves those players for draft picks. He does a really good job at that. I'll give him that. But now he's stuck between a rock and a hard place with Donovan because you you don't want to move your franchise guy to a worse off place.
Right.
Like you don't want to trade him to Sacramento and get picks from Sacramento, and down he's in Sacramento going through. Makes you look bad as a franchise. So
It's
you
like
want to
once
move him to a place where he either he wants to go or where he can be successful.
it's like once people go to Sacramento, man, it's
They
like they
haven't.
disappear, yo.
They
I ain't
haven't.
seen De'Aaron Fox since college, man. I feel like
I forgot. I forgot. Wasn't didn't even play for him no more.
who?
Bagley.
Where's he at?
I don't remember. I think in like Orlando or Detroit somewhere. I don't know, but I forgot he wasn't playing for him no more. But but
Even Boogie had the Kings exciting, man, and they
they haven't been relevant since. C Webb and
Oh nah,
Rick Adelman.
nah,
But
not at all.
I don't know. The Jazz. They got to move Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where to move him. I don't even. I've been thinking about. I keep thinking about it. I'm like, where could you move him that you can get back the draft capital that you kind of want? I don't know. I know. I know you're not getting 6 first-round draft picks from anybody. I do know that. I do know you're not getting 6 first-round draft picks from anyone, let alone the Knicks, who are probably going to be in a lottery over those 6 years. They're not trading that to you. It's not worth it to them. I don't know. I don't know if Donovan. I don't know where he fits. I don't know where. I don't know. Again, where's a team that needs a two guard? Who's a two guard away from an NBA championship? Probably nobody.
No, anybody that's in that's running has a very solid too.
So the Jazz Donovan's in a bad situation. He it might be a mid-season trade that goes through because somebody got hurt or some team is a little bit down that they wasn't expected and they need a spark. But I don't know if he gets moved this summer now.
No, no, he's staying right in Utah.
Unless they unless the Nets somehow get into some type of three-way trade and Donovan Mitchell gets involved in it with Kyrie and KD. Other than that, I don't know if he's going to be able to get moved.
Who will be the third team?
I don't know.
LA,
Portland?
Portland. Who you? Didn't they just pick up somebody? Who did they just pick up?
I don't know. They ain't pick up nobody like Donovan Mitchell, that's for sure.
Nah,
Because I looked at that. I looked at their starting lineup. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere, especially in the West. They ain't going nowhere.
Oh, that's what it was. Was it that they just won the? I don't know.
I know Dame re-signed for a whole bunch of money
Yeah, that might have been what it was.
for some
I
odd
really think
reason.
that was.
He keeps wanting to talk about, yeah, man, I'm here for the grind. Yeah, be there for the grind, then, bro. You're there for the money, bro. Stop lying to us. At least keep it 100, man. You're there for the money. You're not there for the. Who says I want the toughest road possible for my entire career to win a championship? Why? Why would you want to do that? I want to get it from the muscle. You're not getting it. Like, dude, you are not Dane, you're not winning a championship in Portland, okay? It's not happening. It's not. You're not winning the championship in Portland at all. So you should have been like, yeah, get me out of here, or I'm not showing up. But instead, you was like, nah, man, stop. Give me that contract. Big money.
Did oh, I didn't see. I didn't see their see the boy Sharp. I see now where he was out with a shoulder injury, but I never seen. I was actually looking forward to watching him play. From what I've seen of him, I was boy got hops.
Hmm.
Not saying he's like a transcendent player or whatever, but I really think he looked like he could be very good. It's just a matter of playing up to his competition. Um, but that's I don't see much on that roster, man,
Mm-mm.
on that Blazers roster. To
No.
where it's oh man, shout out to Dame, bro. Shout out to Dane, man.
I like Dame,
I
but
really do too, man. It's just
Dame giving me Carmelo vibes.
well, Carmelo left Denver, at least.
Yeah, but he was still left. He still left there to chase the money, and then he stayed in New York to chase the
Amari
money.
was there, man. You can't say he wanted to chase the money. He really thought he had a shot with Amari. Amari was a top power
Amari,
forward back then, was he not?
Amari in New York, or D Wade and LeBron in Miami.
I mean, okay, if we're talking about that, I get that.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. He stayed in New York for the money, and this was after Amari was done. It was the writing was on the wall that Amari was done.
Well, listen, they still homeboys to this day, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
all a
it's
great
always gonna be
understanding.
love. Always gonna be love. Always gonna be love.
Why ain't nobody ask Chris Paul for these meetings? Nah, Chris Paul really like yo. I really want to beat y'all. I really don't want to team up with y'all. I'd rather beat y'all. We still be cool. But I'd rather beat y'all.
I think Chris Paul felt like the NBA didn't want him to win after they blocked this trade to the Lakers.
I would feel that way too. When
Like,
when the commissioner says, "Nah, this can't go
no,
down." So,
no.
well, wait a minute. I ain't even got no reason. This is because I said so. He pulled a black mom move, man. It's like, bruh,
Yeah. So,
I, that would have been crazy, bro.
oh yeah,
Chris Paul and Kobe, goodness
yeah,
gracious.
yeah. That's one of those goat backcourts right there.
Yeah, that
That would have been a goat backcourt.
and just for all you young people that's listening, man, this was when Chris Paul when his prime, like
Yeah,
prime.
Kobe. I was gonna say Kobe was still in his prime.
Yeah, yeah. So I still wonder why David Stern said no to that, man. But
Interesting, you know what I
but
mean? With the Lakers
but
being a marquee franchise for the league,
yeah,
the league's better when they're winning. It was interesting. Something
but
else
yet
was going on behind closed doors.
the trade for Pau Gasol got accepted.
Mhm.
They traded a bag of beans and $30 to get Pau Gasol.
Yeah, well, I mean, in at the time, yes, but don't forget Marcus Hall was involved in that trade.
What you mean?
Mark Gasol was involved in that trade.
He was on the Lakers?
Yes, he got traded for his brother.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Oh
Again,
man.
at the time, it was like, oh my god. But over time, it wasn't that bad of a trade for the Grizzlies.
Okay.
Yeah. Mark Gasol wasn't, he hadn't proven himself to be anything at that time.
No. Wait a minute. So what year? So
Yeah, no, people don't realize it because again, at the time, Kwame Brown was the name that was involved. That was the biggest Laker name at that time, right? That was involved in that trade. Everybody, Kwame Brown is out of here. Stephen A. built it all the way up, but yes.
oh, the Lakers drafted Marc Gasol
Hmm.
and traded the draft. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't it again over time. It turned out to be not
Yeah.
that bad
Yeah.
of a trade for the
But
Grizzlies. But at the time, it was
yeah.
like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
So my apologies, Mark Gasol. You're not a bag of beans, and neither is Kwame. I don't want no.
now you don't want to get on. You don't want that smoke. Actually, yes,
I know.
we can go
I know.
viral.
People say all press is good press.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Nah, me and Kwame Brown kind of think alike in some areas. but that's
Yeah,
neither
but
here
I
nor
mean, Kwame Brown. I ain't even gonna get into it too much, but I didn't. I always felt as though he just got a bad rep.
there. Yeah, he was decent.
Yeah, I
It's just
mean,
that he didn't. He's not a Hall of Famer, so
it's not his fault that that draft class wasn't that great, and he stood out in amongst it.
I still
Being
don't
real,
think he. I don't think he should get all of the flack that he gets. It's
nah,
tough. I
man,
mean,
he had a
but
he
he
had
was
a
the number one
quality
pick.
career. He had a quality career, and again, he goes number one because again, the draft class wasn't that great.
But here's the thing, though. People don't talk about Michael all over Candy.
Michael Oliver Candy also didn't play for Michael
The Lakers.
Jordan.
Yeah, yeah,
Played with the
yeah,
Lakers and Kobe.
yeah, yeah. That's a fact.
You know what I'm
That is a
saying?
fact.
That comes with the territory, man. That comes with the territory. So
I was still shocked the Clippers picked him. I was like, who from where?
from
Pacific.
Pacific,
I
from
still remember
Pacific.
looking. I remember like, yo. I remember looking him up. Like, yo, I've never seen.
Yeah,
I never seen him play basketball a day in my life.
I had
And he's
never,
and he's
I
the
had,
number one pick.
I never heard of Bull until that night
And who was drafted after him?
because we didn't have all of this stuff that we have now back then. All of these pre-draft rankings and all of that. You just knew who
Nah,
was coming out. You
yeah,
just knew who was coming out.
bruh. He got picked over Mike Bibby, Antoine Jameson, Vince Carter, Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce was like a three-time All-American, if I'm not mistaken, at Kansas,
Yeah, I
or
wouldn't
at
doubt
least
it.
a two-time.
Wouldn't doubt it. Paul Pierce was.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Mm, yeah. Now see, that's Michael Oliver Candy should be the jokes because you went in that class above everybody else and was a
Yeah,
bust.
yeah, yeah.
You feel me? Like
Right,
Kwame Brown went before like Mike Miller.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like not taking anything away from Mike Miller, but Mike Miller was a toss up. You didn't know what he really was gonna be at the next level. Became a smooth shooter, but but anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Final thoughts, bro.
Give me 1 second. I'm looking at this 2001. Okay, Tyson Chandler, Pau Gasol, Eddie Curry, Jason Richardson. Jason Richardson was fifth. Not knock him, but Jason Richardson was fifth. Shane Battier had a decent career. Eddie Griffin fell off. Diop, I don't even know if he played a game with the Cavs. Rodney White, he fell off. Then you got ISO Joe. Kendrick Brown, I don't know where he's at. So it's a Richard Jefferson, Troy Murphy. So I mean, like this class ain't all of that. I mean, you got Tony Parker and Gilbert Arenas going,
Going late.
yeah, and Uzman Cece. I remember that name from high school, bro. But yeah, like Boom Che. I remember him from Georgetown.
Yeah.
Boom Che Boom. But yeah, like you said, like in this draft class, bro, this is this is literally like it was a lot of high schoolers.
A lot of high
Not a
schoolers,
not a lot,
international
but
guys,
yep.
when international guys was still not viewed to be lottery picks yet. You know what I'm saying? International guys weren't lottery picks yet at
Right.
that point. Which is why I was shocked that Detroit took Darko. But anyway. But go
So
ahead.
um my final thought. Um I learned more about this season in baseball now. Final thought, final thought. Um I'll take a line from my sister. Uh Take your time but don't procrastinate. That's a jewel coming from the owner of Burnt Brilliance, Angela Johnson, and once she said that, that has stuck with me. Um, Definitely not procrastinating, making sure that day is productive, and I hope it, everybody else would do the same. Make sure your day is productive in what you want to do. Um, Take your time. Don't procrastinate. I don't care what nobody say. Time is not money because time is a currency that you can't get back. You can always run it back when it comes to money. So take your time, enjoy your time, but don't waste it. That's my final thought.
Um, I guess I'm gonna piggyback off that. Uh, my final thought is stop sitting on your gifts. Um, we all have gifts and talents, and majority of the time, just a little timid to step
Mm,
out and truly pursue our gifts and our talents, or we feel as though we're too busy or whatever. So, piggybacking off that, make time to use your gifts and your talents because that is what is going to make you successful in this world is your gifts and your talents.
I
So
concur.
that is my final thought. So
You got any
well,
plugs?
um nah, no plugs this week. No plugs this week. I was getting ready to plug something, but I was like, nah, it's too soon. So I'll hold off on it.
Okay.
But you, any plugs?
Um, Season 2 of A Seat at the Dinner Table will be premiering in August. Um, we will be back with our entrepreneur spotlight and simplyshondell.com for your earrings, fashionable earrings, all of that good stuff. Um, and if you were looking to purchase real estate or sell real estate in the state of Delaware, and no, I ain't gonna say that. In Delaware, give me a call 302-283-9270, and I'll be more than happy to assist
All right. So that'll be our show for tonight. Till next time, speak on it. Peace.